3 victims, 3 suspects, all of them co-workers at Scoff Pharmaceuticals. Your job as a detective is simple. Get to know the victims, interview the suspects, and learn everything you can about physical laboratory hazards in order to solve the mystery. Select Next to go to the lab to begin your investigation. As you're escorted into a spare office, you begin your investigation. These 3 coworkers were all found dead on different days in the environmental stability chamber in the lab. When you select each one, the medium will summon them to the room with a seance to give their statements. The police have already narrowed down the suspects to these 3 staff members. Select each one to hear their statements. Go ahead and begin.
Spirits of Dr. Adele Ronto, I call on you to operate.
Well, this is a coincidence. You see, I was the safety officer here.
This lab is full of stuff that can burn you, even things that aren't hot, like liquid nitrogen. What happened to me? I was in the chamber working alone, except when Dr. Berger came in to replace the batteries in the O2 detector.
Spirit of Sam Wendell, I call on you to operate and make yourself known to us.
Oh, man. Look at this place. What's that on the floor? Did someone leave some salts on the ground? And what's that other stuff? Select each one, and then I'll tell you my story. Alkalis are highly reactive with certain materials, such as acid or other chemicals.
You can see that this lab can be prone to equipment injuries. There's no shortage of moving machinery that can really do damage. We have too many people here who have accidentally cut through their own gloves with a broken glass slide or punctured themselves with working needles. We have security cameras in the chamber so I can monitor their work on the controller dashboard on my laptop.
When new people begin working in the lab, they don't always know the routines and procedures. I'm not authorized to work in the lab, and when someone goes in there who isn't, that's a potential hazard.
You've interviewed all the suspects and heard the experiences of each victim from their own ghosts. So, it's time to choose. Select the single suspect responsible for the murders.
What? You think that I did it? I don't have access to any of the control functions of the chamber that could have put them in danger. Am I being framed?
But I barely worked in that lab. I know I saw Dr. O close to the time that she died, but I never set foot in that chamber. She was my friend, and I never hurt her.
Curses. Deep down I knew I'd never get away with my plan. When Dr. Oranto not only reported me for physical safety violations, but also stole my lunch from the break room fridge, I knew I had to get rid of her. Before she started for the day, I left the top off the liquid nitrogen dewar and took out the batteries from the O2 sensor.
Thanks for solving the case, Detective. During the investigation, your ability to learn about common physical hazards in the lab clearly made the difference.